Okay, hi. Before we get into today's episode, I just need you to know this is our Frenzies chat, but it's also a sneaky little life upgrade, like a life update. Like light and airy, and then suddenly you realize your shoulders dropped and God's not asking you to perform today. That's what this is. Also, can we just talk about for a minute how 2026 is absolutely given 2016? I have seen that everywhere in this decade, absolutely. The throwback, I am here for all of it. The nostalgia, the wow, we've lived some real life energy, I'm here for all of it. So today we're honoring the decade and talking nervous systems, work and rest, and why rest isn't always a nap. I know that's a bummer, but it's true. When we talk about rest and when we talk about biblical rest, we're not just talking about how we need to go do some self care and lay in a bubble bath or take a nap. It's about trust. And I'm sharing my favorite fave finds because why? It's Friday, including my vibration plate that has me shaking like an old school. I mean, if we're going back to the way back, throwback to a Sims character, how it was buffering respectfully. Okay, let's get into it. Hello, my lovelies. Happy Friday, friends. Welcome in to What About This, an extension of the Eighth and Grace podcast, where we are going to chat just enough to get us through lunch. Not an entire meal, but a bite sized snack, if you will. Think about this as a bestie convo to keep us going through the rest of our day. Are y'all ready? Let's go. Okay, so we know this is our corner of Eighth and Grace where the tangents are holy and the leftovers are often our best part. This is where we spill the tea that didn't make it into like our, I guess, real episodes, not our little voice chat memos with our besties. And we say the things we're not always sure we can say out loud, but we probably need to. Listen, it kind of feels like 2026 really is the new 2016, doesn't it? Like, I've been seeing that everywhere, and I'm sure you have too. Like, if we don't live under a rock, we see everybody saying that. And everybody's been pulling out their throwbacks, their old playlists. I've been hearing like all the 2016 vibes and their past versions of who they were. And honestly, y'all, I love it. Like, I can get behind that because it is so cool to see how we have grown, right? Because we're not going backwards. Obviously, nobody wants to go back to 2016. Well, at least I don't, but because it's wild. It is wildly liberating for me to see how 10 years of living has shaped us all differently. Can you imagine? Like, can you think about living today if we knew today what we knew 10 years ago? Like, I'm sure my life would look a little different. And anyway, we won't even go there. But this space is not for that. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that today. But I am all about noticing what's changed and for laughing at who we were. Like we can laugh healthily at who we were and for telling the truth about who we're becoming. You know, we get tender, we get yappy. It's a full ramble sometimes. It's always a whole moment, but always, 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 we're going to be rooted in grace, right? These are our chats that are like, hey, okay, wait, what about this? And somehow we may end up in laughter and tears. I'm always the one in tears. I don't know if you guys are, but I always am. And then we have this little quiet nudge we didn't know we needed. So if you are eating lunch right now, I'm going to try to keep this to a little snack or at least like a kids cuisine if we're taking it back to 2016. I don't know. Maybe nobody else fed their kids cuisine because y'all are probably a little more crunchy or better than what I was. But listen, I was doing the best I could. So if you're in the carpool line, turn it up. Remember when 107 was it 107.5? Turn it up and rip the knob off. I don't know. That was a Tennessee thing, maybe, but greeting lunch. Hold on. If you're brushing mascara through your lashes or you're at the sink or you're looking at your lash extensions, y'all, I have a whole story to tell y'all about lash extensions. If I get brave enough to do that, we'll see if I'm like real with y'all. But I'm right here with you. And there's always one more thing to say. And this is our space for it. Our space for women who love Jesus and we're tired sometimes and we're tired of faith that feels like pressure and we love Jesus and a good pair of jeans. We believe that formation includes our body, right? We're going there today. Formation, spiritual formation, that is, includes our body. And the nervous system matters to God. He created us, right? With our mind, body, our soul, our spirit. And you don't have to be exhausted to be faithful. Like that's what today is all about. We are. almost at the end of January, the first month of 2026. I cannot believe that I'm continuing to say that. My oldest baby will be 26 years old on the 28th of this month. And that is just like, I can't even. I'm not well. It's because she is 26 years old, but I mean, that's 26 more years of life that I've lived, and that's just a lot. But this is a movement toward being soft, right? We can be soft, strong, and steady and move brave even when we're afraid. Theology can meet gentleness, and regulation supports prayer, and where women learn to feel safe again in God's presence. And I want you to know today, you're not behind. If you don't feel like you are where everybody else is, I want you to know I haven't even taken the first pen to my planner in 2026 yet. I've barely done any journaling. I've barely written anything. So if you're using this month to truly like rest and just to get caught up and to feel regulated, you're not behind. Okay. I just want you to know that you're not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You are on your pace and you are at the pace of God's grace. And you don't have to feel like you have to get ahead of it and compare yourself to someone else, right? Like I can't unhear when I hear women say, how free they feel when they stop comparing themselves to someone else. So you're not broken. Okay. You're becoming. And also, before we even get started, let's just back up a notch or two. I okay, so we'll just talk about not feeling behind. This is just a personal story. I'll give you a little update. So, I am my own producer for this show right now. I am the voice behind the mic. I am the sound. I am the producer. I do it all right now. I have a lovely producer, Elizabeth Evans, that started us off in season 1 of this podcast. And we will eventually, again, if she will have us back, we'll be on retainer with her and let her go back to record this. But right now, just, financial and options and all the things. It just makes the most life sense for me right now to do all this. And I had been struggling. My system deconnected from my computer. It was the whole thing. And I was struggling. And then I like rebelled and just kind of set back on life for a minute. And we haven't been having episodes every Tuesday and Friday because your girl just, okay, I got down for a minute and I was having a hard time. But today I have figured this out. Like I sat with a clear mind and was able to read directions and instructions. And I don't know if you're like me, but I have the hardest time like following instructions, written instructions and directions, probably even verbal and in life, honestly. Well, now that I think about it, yeah, probably in life. But like, I don't know, like my head will hurt. I feel like my vision gets blurred. I get dizzy. It's probably, just a me thing, but I have the hardest time. Today, I did it. I followed written instruction, I followed videos, and we're here, baby. We are live. Me and you, our friends, whoever wants to join in us, we are here. And you know how you just feel like, yeah, I did that. Like I accomplished that. I should have had this done before the 20, what even is today? The 23rd of January. I should have had this done before then. I didn't. And you know what? I could feel bad about it, but I am not allowing myself to feel bad about us getting a later start into our productivity and where we should be and us walking this journey together because you know why? God has given me grace to cover this too. And for whatever reason, it was meant to be on the 23rd of January, and that's where we are. So, if you've had one of those moments, like if you just learned, if you were today's your year old and you learned how to use your coffee maker, listen, I'm here for you and I see you and you are not alone. If you just learned how to do something or just had the strength or the courage or the wherewithal or the bandwidth or the capacity or whatever word you like to say, or you're just now getting in rhythm or you're still trying to catch up, you're right where you're supposed to be. I just wanted you to know that. I want to give you a little context for that. So, okay. I've said okay a lot. I say okay a lot. Okay and like, I've got to get better with those. But I tell you, we're also going to talk still a little bit about the GLP-1 journey that I'm on, the terzepatide, the Zepbound that I'm taking. I can tell you one thing that I have truly noticed about taking this injection is it is helping me, like, I think I can see the inflammation in my body, like, starting to deflate. Any of my perimenopausal mamas, menopause, postmenopause, don't know where you're at in it all, but you still feel like you get bloated and tight in your rings, like you can't even be comfortable in your own skin wearing them. I'm right there. Okay. Just want you to know that I'm right there with you, but this is helping some. And once we get into my Friday Fave Finds, we'll talk about some of the things I'm doing for lymphatic drainage as well. And they're life giving and they're life changing. So, because we're friends and context matters. Seminary starts back on Monday. My seminary break is ending. So please pray for me as I return back to being academically perceived like I'm going to be studious again. So the rest of this weekend, I have to print. I don't have to print, obviously, because this is an online program, but I'm printing my syllabus. And some of the girls in our class have made like a Google Doc because they are on top of things. And I see them, Laura Ann, I love you, Stacy. I love you, Aaron, you girls, Heather, y'all just make life joy so much easier. Um, and I'm thankful that y'all are pulling the slack for me and helping me along. We are in our second year and we're just getting back started. It has been a great break. I am thankful that it's coming, but I'm going to print all that, get my syllabus ready, get all the things, start reading the reading that I should already be done with by Monday. I have to cram it all in the weekend, but that's okay. Somebody was a little late ordering their books. So when I tell you I was rebelling a little bit and just sat down on life for a minute, I am not kidding. We're renovating the house too. And I'm currently tackling my home office slash podcast room. So if you hear any excess noise or snoring from my bulldog, that's not some wild spiritual warfare, although it feels like it. It's just a little hardware, a little hard care update going on up in here. Um, when we are trying to do an office and two bathrooms and a guest bedroom all at one time because that's what we do. And that's not even mentioned in the kitchen. But anyway, y'all, I am back into sourdough. Actually, as a household, we're back into sourdough. And Dan gave Emma a sourdough starter. And I just need y'all to know that she is rocking right along with hers. Like our little Opal is doing her best to keep up with Emma. She is making discard cookies, muffins, cinnamon rolls. Like she's doing the thing. We're still just making our bread over here, but we're back in our sourdough era, which is basically me raising another child because, trying to feed it and keep up with it and to roll and extend and stretch and do all the things. Yeah. So raising another kid over here. And me and Dan had four of the five of our grandbabies here last weekend. I have been emotionally unwell in the best way since having them. We have been praying for snow here, not ice. All my Tennessee friends, I am truly praying for y'all. Like all the jokes aside, not being funny. I know there's a big storm, coming in, not just Tennessee, all of my friends, no matter where you're listening from. If you're impacted and affected by this winter storm, I seen something the other day on the news where it said that trees are going to be exploding. Y'all, I don't know what in the Rapture series this is or what's going on, but I don't know that I've ever thought about trees exploding because of the weather. But if you're impacted in that and you are getting ice and not snow, like the fun stuff, like really, like God, I'm not complaining. But if we're going to get something and it's going to be like a winter storm, could we not just get like the good, fluffy, cold snow where we can play and not ice so that we have to worry about how we're going to get around? And if we got to have a generator, and if you do go to the grocery, if there's even going to be any milk or bread or cheese or eggs, because there's not, there's not going to be, which, hey, we have sourdough. But seriously, make sure that you have a plan in place if we're going to get this ice because we're not used to that. You guys are not used to that. And Tennessee. I know some of our friends up north and around all the other places they are, but we're just built different and we're not really equipped for that. So I ain't praying for much snow, just one good snow that makes time stop. And everyone have to be stuck inside my house playing my favorite game. I would say everybody else's favorite game, but right now, y'all know as a family, we collectively love to play game night. And my favorite game right now is Try Not to Laugh. And nobody else likes it. They think it's cheesy. If it's your favorite game, I love you. Like, we are the same. But play our favorite game, try not to laugh, eat. I want to eat some soup out of a bread bowl because why? Because if it's going to be snowing, you have to have ice, right? I mean, you have to have soup. Why did I say ice? A girl can dream anyway, can't she? I can dream. But here's why I'm telling you all that, because real life's happening. Real life happens everywhere, no matter what it is. No matter if we are in real life dealing with relationship issues, or real life with finances, or real life with renovations, or real life with our kids. No matter what it is, we are all, life is lifing right now in this almost end of the first month of 2026. And I just want you to know real life is happening and it's normal. And even on the days that we feel like we have to be drug along, we're here. And we've made it through some of the hardest days we never thought we would make it through. And look at us here making it. We're making it make it, right? So, in our soft girl era, that requires you to stop having responsibilities. That's not a real plan. And it's not a Pinterest hallucination, right? Like, in our soft girl era, you stop having, did I even say that right? Like, I'm sitting here right now thinking, did that even come out right? We're going to say that one more time. This is the thought that I was thoughting right then, which means any soft girl era, because that's where we are in our gentle January. We're in our soft girl, but strong, but steady, but brave and moving ahead. Like, I think we know that that's what we're claiming. If it requires you to stop having responsibilities, it's not a real plan. That's like a Pinterest hallucination. That's what I had wanted to say. I don't know what I was saying, but go with that. That's what it was. Okay. So, can we pause for this? Because this feels important. It may not be important. Now I feel like Ellen on oh, National Lampoon's Vacation, where he told her the drum roll, and she's like, da, 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 da. Y'all know I can't do that anymore. I don't know why my tongue won't roll. But anyway, it really does feel like this is 2016. I have said that now 3 times, so y'all know that that's what I'm feeling. We're not going backwards, but let's think about how much has happened, how much life has happened along the way. 10 years ago, are y'all ready for this? This is what I was trying to say. 10 years ago, we were wearing chokers. And I pulled a choker out the other day out of this little necklace stack that I bought. I ordered this little cute little necklace and it was just a bee, like the little bubble letters. Y'all, it came with a black, like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't tell if it's satin or leather, but it's a choker. And I wore it for like days and I love it. So we were wearing chokers back then, like emotional armor, and I'm here for it. What about, do you remember posting Visco grainy photos? Okay, I wasn't in with the Visco, but that's what it pulled up for 2016. I was posting grainy photos on Instagram of coffee that I probably couldn't afford, and if I was, I wasn't affording it like a good kid and probably didn't need to do it, but I was posting pictures of grainy coffee in 2016, and can I tell you something? I literally today on my Substack of little joys in life right now posted another photo of coffee. So, listening to Drake's views like it was scripture. We're just gonna scoot past that one because that might just be me if you know where you're from. Living for Snapchat dog filters, y'all. When everybody was posting their pictures the other day and I was going back through mine of 2016, I literally had Snapchat pictures of me, like the Snapchat dog filter. Watching Grey's Anatomy thinking this is fine. Deep in our girl boss hustle era, wearing skinny jeans with ballet flats. Be honest, you know you were. And some of us might still be doing that today, and it might be coming back around. And we were curating life on Instagram squares only. Like, we weren't doing all the things like trying to keep up with algorithms and are you doing this? Are you posting that? Does your house look like this? Does mine look like that? No, we were just curating our own little life in our own little squares. And we were here for it and we were digging it. We were drinking iced coffee like it was our hydration, and believing burnout meant we were doing something right. And here we are 10 years later. Now, think about this. 10 years later, we were believing 10 years ago that burnout meant we were doing something right. Can I help you right now? More tired 10 years later, more honest 10 years later, more aware and more tender But how many of us are still living and believing that burnout means we're doing something right? And like I said, I love, love, love seeing everyone's throwbacks. And not because I want to be her again, but because I see how much my life has shaped me since then. I see that girl. I see how much my life has shaped me since then. And I see how much your lives have shaped you since then. And I love it. Like, I just love seeing the progression of life. And that's kind of what today's episode is about, has been about, even though I've been rambling because why? This can be a whole ramble, but just about work and rest and our theology of life without pressure. So let's talk about rest just for a minute, but let's do it in a way that doesn't gaslight anybody who has a job, who has kids, or who has bills. And that one group chat that refuses to die. Can you fall in any of those? Absolutely. I think we all can. So that means we're going to talk about rest in a real way and what it means for us in our real life, realistically. Okay. So, my anchor line for today, if I were going to anchor to something for this episode, if you're going to anchor to something, it's rest isn't always a nap. Sometimes it's trust. That's what we're going for today. And scripture is really clear, y'all. God invites rest. And also, he gives people assignments, and we see both in our life. We see when it's time for us to rest and to sit at his feet and be a Mary. And we see at times in our life when we are busy and busy and about, like Martha. Like, both fit. Rest and work are both true, and they coexist, and they live in the same space, and that's healthy. And if I have ever said anything that has made you feel otherwise, this is my repentance. I apologize. I just want to make sure that going in through almost now the end of January, the soft girl era that I'm claiming it for, as we're going to move into February, that we know where we really are. And this is something realistic. This isn't just for girls like me that aren't actively working outside our home right now. So Jesus literally says, like, right? Come to him. All of us who are weary, like, come away with me and rest. That's just my version. That's not what it says. And we can also seasons of building and serving and showing up because that's what we do, even in seasons when we are resting. Because if we honor Sabbath and we honor when we're supposed to be resting, right? We do all of these simultaneously and it's a rhythm. They ebb and flow and we still show up. And our faith is not like some spiritual disassociation that we have to disassociate with in our everyday life. Like, it all goes together. Sometimes rest is physical, right? Sometimes we sleep. I love my um little drowsy that satin, well, it's actually silk, the silk sleep mask that I bought. Like, I am digging it. I woke up this morning, y'all, I was sideways in the bed. My head was to the left, my feet were to the right, and my sleep mask, because it has like a nose cut out, like it's a big face one, because it's supposed to help with wrinkles and all the things. But it was sideways. That's how hard I was sleeping. My Hatch Restore, the song that I play on Fridays, is different than what I play during the week to wake me up. Like, everything was full blown going. And I like sit up in my sleepy stupor and I look at my husband, and he has already had a shower. He's got real people clothes on. He's not in pajamas. And he had already been downstairs making coffee, cleaned up our kitchen, and been in the sauna and was on his way to work. And I'm like sitting up in the bed, like, is this real life? Is this Friday? So sometimes when we need a rest, it's physical. I said all that to say that. Sometimes we need sleep. Sometimes we need stillness and we need to sit and we need to think with our thoughts and we need to sit with Jesus and just be quiet and listen to him and let him just hold us sometimes, because sometimes that's all a girl needs is for her daddy to hold us. And in this life, if we have ever had issues with our eternal, with our physical, biological dads or the dads that have stepped up to be in our life or whoever it is that's earthly, and we just feel like we need that sometime, we can always get that from our eternal Father. He's always there and willing to hold us and let us cry on his shoulder and just let us know that he is near and he is there. Sometimes rest is just a slower day, right? We just need a slow day. And it's not even that at any kind of pace. When I say slow, I just mean like our normal, ordinary, mundane whether you are in a routine that day or not. You just need a slow day, a day just to gather and to be like centered back to the present in this moment and not be thinking ahead. What's next? When's the shoe going to drop? Like all the things. We just need to be here in the moment. But sometimes rest is internal, right? And it looks like just working without urgency, doing our job, but not like it's an emergency, resting without guilt, right? And moving between the two without punishment, without punishing ourselves on the days that we just need to be slower. That's really what I am really harping at myself, my mom, my sister, my daughters in this season right now. It's just that we can work and rest without urgency, without guilt, and move between the two without pressure and punishing ourselves. Because if your version of rest is scrolling until your eyes are dry and your brain is haunted, that's not rest. Okay. That's not rest. That's sedation. That's numbing out. That's scrolling. I didn't really know the term brain rot and like bed rot until I read it on a little cute little needlepoint pillow. I'm not lying to you. And then I had to start looking it up, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about numbing out and just like mindlessly scrolling on our phone because that is not rest. When God calls us to rest, it's not always do nothing. Okay. Sometimes it's just stop striving like I'm not faithful, right? Like that's what I want us to hear today. If you're like hearing me, if you hear other voices, because I don't think I'm the only one that is hearing this right now, that rest is so important for us. I don't want you to be like, how are you really going to sit here and tell me I need to rest when I got a 9 to 5? I have to clock in, I have kids, or I have other responsibilities, or I have to do this, or I take care of elderly parents or grandparents, or I have sick loved ones, or I'm sick myself. Like, how are you going to tell me to stop and slow down and rest when my life keeps going? That's what I want you to hear me say today. I want you to hear this. It's not always do nothing. It doesn't mean when we say rest, like we're just not doing anything. It just means stop striving like God's not faithful because He is. Rest is I'm doing what I can do today and I'm not playing God tonight. Can I get an amen on that? Like that was very deep and profound. I'm only going to do what I can do today. I'm doing my best. I'm giving it what I got, and this is all I can do. And I'm not going to hold myself to anyone else's standard. I'm not going to let myself feel bad if I don't look like Susie Lou Who down the street that's doing it and she's doing it well. I don't look like my neighbor and getting the curated yard of the month, and that's okay. Right? I did what I could do today. I did my best. I am being faithful to what I can do. And tonight, I'm not going to play God. He is God and He is God alone. Y'all, when we do that, that's when we can really start focusing on getting our nervous system regulated. So, I say that because this year I am showing up. I'm still going to be, I am a wife, I am a mother, right? I'm a grandmother. I am a seminary student, a Bible teacher. I am a podcast host. Obviously, if you're listening to me, hello. Um, but I'm a writer. I do the things, right? Those are who I am. But one of the areas that I have been sleeping on, talking about and sharing, and this is gonna get tender for a moment for me, but and maybe you've had something in your life happen like this, and this will be good for you to hear too, but because of my injury 7 years ago and just the life that I've been living from then to now, well, it'll be 7 years in June, but it feels like it's already here. And can we get an amen that the number 7 is completion and just praying that this all comes to an end soon and life just looks different, but we are where we are and where we're supposed to be right now, and that's what we're talking about. So I am a nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse practitioner since 2009, and I haven't talked about it in external spaces. Like I very rarely mention that or talk about that on the podcast or where I write, like where I show up in ministry, an extension of that, even when I speak or when I write on Substack or Instagram or even in my blog, I don't always write about the things that God has given me in my trade. And that is the knowledge and the wherewithal that He has given me as a provider. And I take pride in that. There was a time that I spoke on Capitol Hill. as an advisor, as an expert in a field for a medication that I spoke across Tennessee for. I owned a practice and y'all, I got Woman of Wilson one time, and that one like still rattles me to the bone when I know the women that have gotten that and who they were and how deserving they were. And but it's not all that, and I'm not saying all that like, oh, look at all her titles. Like, who does she think she is? I'm not chasing titles. These are doors and opportunities that God has opened and that I was obedient and walked through. I didn't always steward them well, but I've done them. And I haven't always shown up clinically here in this space or clinically online or clinically speaking. And this is the year that I'm going to show up as both faith and science can live together. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, but it is the case. It is the truth. God gave us our brains, which is the science part for us to use. So, clinical and pastoral truth, that's who I am. That's who God has called me to be. And a lot of women and a lot of our friends that are listening, and your friends that may not be listening, but that you know are not lazy, your nervous system is tired. Your nervous system is jumbled, it's tired, everything is just like a circuit board, and the wires are getting disconnected and discombobulated and all frazzled. None of those are medical terms or science terms, but we handle so much in this life and in this consumerism, um, culture that we live in. We take in so many more things than our brain was ever really designed to take in. And we're not lazy. I want you to know that today. You're not lazy. If you're not where you want to be, if you're not where you thought you would be, you're not lazy, friend. You are not lazy. And if you just can't put your finger on why you are nauseous or why you're bloated or why you're tired or why you have mental fog or any, I could go, the list could go on and on and on, digestion and all the things. Some of that could be because you're dysregulated in your nervous system. And we've talked a little bit about the nervous system in the last episode and the episode before that. So you can go back to that and listen to that. I would love it if you did. And if rest makes you anxious, to think about to rest even makes you anxious because you know all the things you have to do, that's not a character flaw. That again, there's nothing wrong with you. It's a body that has learned that slowing down was unsafe. It's a mind that has learned if you're burnt out, you're doing it right. It's a mind that wears busyness around your neck like a badge of honor. And we all have cuter beads than that to wear, right? And we have little baubles with our initials on them and cuter things to wear than I have to be busy around my neck. So, this is the year that we are going to stop that. We are silencing that and we're cutting ties with that lie is what we're going to do. That is our mission this year. And we're going to do it. And we're already doing it. And we're working on it in the third week of January of 2026. And I'm going to give you just like a couple of things and we can go into this further. And if you want to go into it further, DM me on Instagram, email me. That'll be in our show notes. You can get with me on the blog any way you want to, but let me know if you want to discuss further about some nervous system regulation and what that could look like and what some dysregulation could look like. But just a couple things that might sound familiar. Otherwise, this is going to be like a 2 hour long episode because I get really passionate when I start thinking about all the women in my life that I love that are just existing to live right now and going through the motions and not truly enjoying life or living or loving the life that they're in. And I don't love it. I don't love it for them. And I don't love it for you if you're a part of that. But if you are tired and just like exhausted and feel it deep in your bones, if you're tired but still wired, you could be dysregulated. If you have guilt when you're resting, if you're overreacting at the smallest thing, maybe a coffee spill, maybe spilling a whole container of Baja Gold sea salt. Yeah, and then, like, really freaking out and then spiraling into shame. If you can't focus and then panic hits, if your jaws are tight and you don't even know it until you wake up and you have a headache, or you realize you're grinding your teeth, or your shoulders are tight, or if you're doom scrolling to relax. Do you know some of those can be symptoms of a nervous system that's not regulated? It's not weakness, okay? Your body's not broken. She's good to you, and she's being good to you because she's trying to protect you. God designed your body perfectly. Can I say that again? He designed our bodies perfectly. The bodies that we live in and breathe in and move in and walk in every day, that we pick out every flaw imaginable, if we're looking in a mirror or if we're not, if we're trying on jeans, if we're sitting in a skirt, the bodies that we are not good to, y'all, the ones we're not kind with our words to, he designed them perfectly. And he did not make any mistakes with your physiology. And that sounded deep, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Regulation doesn't replace prayer either. It just supports your ability to receive God without bracing. So, when we talk about nervous system regulation, when we talk about dysregulation, when we talk about anything that's medical or science, I am not telling you that that replaces who God is in your life. He is and always will be number one. He is and always will be a healer, and he will be the master physician in every room. But we can utilize the knowledge that we have about the body that he has given us and use it for our good, right? Without having to brace for what's next or constantly live in fight or flight. And how can I even talk about this? I just want y'all to know I've been there. I'm not speaking about something like distant and far away that I have not had to walk through myself. This isn't an abstract thing. I'm talking from experience and something I'm still healing from. And y'all, I want to tell you something. Honestly, Elijah in the bottle. Lord Jesus, please help me. There we go. Elijah, after the big spiritual moment, Elijah in the Bible, not the bottle, by the way. God's first ministry to him was sleep and food. Then God spoke. So he cared for him. He tended for him. He tended for his needs. And you know why I just brought that up is because how many of us like ignore completely our body's cues on some of the things, like we've discussed this before on the podcast. I think it was last week or the week before. So we're not going to go in depth in it, but just think about how we need to be better to ourselves. If our body tells us we need to go to the bathroom, baby, we need to go to the bathroom. If we are hearing cues from our tongue and just our bodies in general, our heart rate's going up, if we might have a headache or feel a little dizzy, maybe we need a little bit of some hydration. We need to listen to our cues. And he cared for Elijah. Elijah had just had the biggest spiritual battle, right? The biggest moment, the biggest battle. And he was really having a hard time. And God said, buddy, you're hungry. You need to sleep and you need to eat. Y'all, sometimes what would just a little bit of sleep and some food do for us, for our mood? I think about Betty White, God rest her soul, and those commercials about the Snickers. But that is it. Like, he cared for Elijah's body and he cared for his regulation in his nervous system and said, let me feed you and you take a nap, pal. And then God took care of him. That'll preach, wouldn't it? But I'll digress for today. I'll digress. Okay. Also, random but important. If you're enjoying this, rating this show helps it reach people who are quietly looking for this kind of space. Okay. I just needed to say that real quick. Now, back to our episode. We're going to have a little segment right now about life hacks and some wisdom, okay? Because while we're talking about regulation and our nervous system, and we're going to talk about being healthy, I need to tell y'all about the vibration plate. I know that they're a big trend and they're a fad right now, and you've been seeing them everywhere, but I'm just going to tell you that. Listen, I don't make commission. If I tell you about something on our Fave Finds on Fridays, I need you to understand kudos to everybody that is making commission right now. I'm just not in a space in my life where that's something that I can do. And I'll just leave that right there. But I only share things with you that I use, I love, or I want. Okay. I just need to tell you that. Um, but I have a Life Pro vibration plate, and it's like the Pro plus something, I don't know, something for. I would have to look at it, but I love mine. Okay. I love mine with wisdom. I love mine. And I'm going to tell y'all the honest version about what I think. Research, okay, suggests to us that whole body vibration can support muscle strength. And I needed some muscle strength. I have a bad hip. I needed some muscle strength and I have a torn glute. Um, and so in our lower body, especially. And so I have been vibrating all over the place on my little vibration plate, and I've also been using it to drain my lymphatic system. That's probably my favorite thing about it. Um, it's really good. You can work out your core strength. I mean, it's a good exercise. You get steps in. I think 20 minutes is like 3,000 steps, but don't quote me on that. It's not magic, obviously, right? It's not a magic pill. It's not a magic bullet, but it is good. Um, and there's some promising data around bone density, even like with specific protocols and doing certain things on, on your vibration plate. So I use mine for lymphatic drainage and just like strengthening right now, and a little bit of exercise. And I can't really say if it's doing anything for weight loss. I can't be honest and tell you that's all my vibration plate because I am on a terzepatide right now. I think I'm going into like what month 2, 2.5 months or something like that. And trying to eat healthier and doing light exercise, what I can do with my hip and this thoracic outlet. But that and the vibration plate and taking supplements. So I can't tell you that that's what is causing me to continue to lose weight, but I can tell you I don't think it's hurting me lose weight. And Mayo Clinic is even clear, like it is good as a, add-on, but it doesn't replace exercise, right? Like, if you walk, if you do cardio, do the things, okay? But I'm just telling you, one of my fave finds today is gonna be my Life Pro. I absolutely love my vibration plate. And here's why I like it for Gentle January. It's a tiny on ramp, right? On days where a full workout feels like too much, hey, it's movement, baby. It's movement. It's not being stagnant. It's getting my lymphatic system draining, and especially like in my legs where my muscle fascia has been tight and guarding because of all of the issues I have in my hip. And my glutes. So I have a lot of fascia. Well, guess what? We can't lose weight or even the cellulite that I love so much on my legs until we break down that fascia and then like um the lymphatic fluid, like it all lives there. So we have to break up fascia and we have to work on our lymph system. So anyway, those are the things that we're doing, and that's why I say it's an on ramp, and that's why I say that the vibration plate is good, because it's still movement, it's still circulation, and it still feels like I showed up today, and it's good without the drama. But more is good, right? More is good sometimes, but more is not always more. So, gentle, short sessions, we're not launching into orbit anywhere. Doing what we can do and what we feel good doing, that's good. And just a little side note, because I've been talking about being a provider. If you're pregnant or have any implanted devices or clotting issues or like heart concerns or recent surgery, talk to your doctor first before you go starting to vibrate and jiggle around. But please don't be brave where you're meant to be wise. But I just wanted to give that little disclaimer because I'm not giving health advice here. And so if you do have those issues, talk to your doctor. Um, but that's in my gentle January vibe. I do 10 minutes, and then I do it I started on a low setting and get low to moderate now. I do basic stance on there, like feet together, feet apart. I sit on it, put my legs on it. Do some like fold, like bend over and then do like some side stretches because that helps with lymphatics. And then I can't do like a lot of squats, but I do try to bend down some. But honestly, y'all, just standing on it and breathing, it's movement. It's movement. And if that's where you need to start is just with movement, hey, stand up and just roll your shoulders back a couple times and deep breath. And you don't even have to have a vibration plate. It's all about just being where you are and present in the moment and responding to what your body needs, right? And our bodies love movement. Our bodies heal with movement. Movement is good. And if anything feels weird, nope, we don't push through nonsense in 2026. If anything I just said makes you feel, then don't do it because we're not doing that in 2026. And so, this isn't a visit. I'm just your podcast friend. I'm not a chart note. I'm not writing a note on you today. I just giving you a little bit of my fave finds. So, fave finds. That's where we're in next. Fave finds because we all need some joy. I've already mentioned 2 of them. My, sleep mask, I talked about it last week. That was on my fave find, so it really don't count, but, I tell you what does, like my wave, the Solo Wave eye mask, I absolutely love it. I have a Cleolite red light, Cleopatra mask. She is my jam. She's a whole vibe. I look like Back to the Future with her. I could go in my DeLorean and we could go somewhere, just letting you know. But, her and I have the neck and chest one, so if I look like I'm all armored up, buddy, I am, and I'm ready to go. That's one of mine and my vibration plate. Um, my little eye mask though, it's like my little emotional support item. I put it on and suddenly I feel I'm like hydrated, I'm regulated. I feel like I have a superpower and I'm not even arguing with anybody in my head. I'm just doing the thing. And then my skincare, some skincare things. So I have a red light little, I think it's Dermacrest, and I'll link these things. Little like gua sha thing. And I also use an ice roller, but you always use your red light first. So I do the little red light gua sha thing first. You put a little bit of oil on and then you ice roller. Y'all, I just need you to know, think first, like stimulate, okay? And then sculpt and soothe. But I just need y'all to know that is a spa day all in itself in just a few minutes is just using that on my face every morning. Clean my face, do a little red light on some clean, dry skin, 5 to 10 minutes with the little oil and serum on there. My little gua sha with a little slow light pressure, always upward and outward, y'all. You know, we're talking about our lymphatic system right here, around here. Neck, jaw, cheeks, eyes, forehead, you know, the whole gamut because I'm trying to tighten, snatch that stuff up. And then ice roller lasts 30 to 60 seconds just to calm your face down and seal it. And then I use like a blue teensy oil after that. It's like a little ritual oil. I don't know. It feels so good. And if your face is sensitive, just shorten all that because even just ice rolling by itself is enough. And you can do that with just one of those from the dollar bin at Target. So I don't want you to feel like you have to have anything special or what I have. These are just the things I have. And then the Life Pro, the vibration plate, y'all, I'm obsessed. And let me tell you what else I am obsessed with. I'm obsessed with wearing my little Quincy, or how do you, is that Quince or Quincy? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about Quincy's big fat yeast rolls if we're taking it back to the way back, but those were good and those are not on my healthier eating plan. I'm just saying. Um, but I have two, like the Namaste, I think, workout set from them, and then the cute little Brown, because Brown is still having her moment even into 2026. Um, Little workout set and some cute little socks. It makes me feel like I'm a Pilates girl, even if I ain't. I'm just alive over here. But anyway, um, I feel unexpectedly elite in my little outfit from Quincy or Quince or whatever. It's just cheaper. Um, so I'll link those things. And then another thing that I'm loving, y'all know I'm an Ollie Pop and Poppy girl, but I have been drinking this Bloom Pop. I do some Bloom greens, even though I do my greens. Y'all know I love greens teddy bears. I've been doing those, I don't know, gosh, 8 months now, but I am digging the prebiotic soda, the Bloom Pop in the Shirley Temple. Holy moly. You wanna talk about a mocktail all in a can? Better than any cherry Sprite or cherry 7 Up I've ever had, and I'm not kidding, and it's a prebiotic soda, and that's not sponsored, even though if Bloom wanted to sponsor us, they could, right? So, here's the point. We're not leaving Jesus out of our soft girl era, right? We can rest and we can work, and we have some favorite things that we're moving into January with, and we're not behind. Did I cover all that? And we're regulating our nervous system, and we're doing it. We're following our rhythms. I have the daily rhythm that I set, that you guys can have. I literally put in there everything from when I wake up in the morning to how I clean my face and when I make my bed and like when I study for seminary. So if you're not just home and you need to schedule time in there to do like work on your Microsoft, whatever it is at work, you schedule. I've scheduled that stuff in. So we're following our rhythm to the best that we can, to the best of our ability, knowing that we can rest and work without guilt, without punishment, without shame, because they both coexist. And we can become healthier in our bodies and love our nervous system, get her regulated, do the things that are good for us because God designed our body good, right? And we're not leaving Jesus out of our soft girl era. Just because we're talking about science doesn't mean we don't have faith. And just because we're talking about some medical things and things that help us be healthy, we're not having our head in the sand, right? We're doing both. Because Jesus is not an accessory. Okay. We got cute accessories for that. He is not that. He is our strength and he is our God. And becoming healthier is not vanity. It's stewardship. So when we talk about taking our supplements, which I'm taking some good ones, I always take magnesium at night, y'all. I use essential oil, peace and calm roller. I have essential oils going in my house all the time, literally all the time. I even have them in my outlets, diffusers that go in my outlet that just you put oil in and it's amazing. And so a strong body, our supplements, our vitamin D, our calcium. If you're on the NAD train and peptides, we will be getting into that and talking about that this year too. If you're on a terzeptide, like me, on the journey of being healthier and trying to eat healthier, when we talk about it, it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to be healthy. And if this triggers anything in anyone that has an issue in your body, this is not that. And this is not what I'm trying to do. This is all about us just being healthier and loving the body that we're in because our bodies are not a problem to fix. It's stewardship. Our strong minds, our strong bodies, and our steady souls. That's what this gentle January has all been about. Soft, strong, steady, and brave, even if we have to do it afraid. And it's not for aesthetics. It's not for what we look like. It's for feeling good and healthy and strong in the body that we have been given. So you can live your calling without burning out. I don't want us to just live and exist anymore. This is 2026. That was so 2025. Everybody had a hard year. Almost. I shouldn't say everybody, but almost everybody I know had a hard 2025. That was so 2025. We are not living burnout anymore. We don't have to. We do not have to. We have enough knowledge to not have to live our lives burnout, but we have to listen to our bodies and our cues. And if God tells us we need a snack and and a nap, then we need to listen. And water, probably, and a little lemon and some electrolyte packets. But if Gentle January has resonated at all, I just want you to know I created it because I needed it too. I am not outside of this conversation. I am right in the middle of it with you because I did not want to feel like I needed a new me or you needed a new you in January. This is not a reset. Okay. We didn't do a January reset in 2026. We did a return. We're living in the word contentment in January 2026, all the way through December 2026 in a year of contentment. No pressure, no catching up, just steady. We're flowing steady. And the links to all this is there if you want to take what nourishes you and leave the rest. If it doesn't, you don't have to do it. You don't even have to listen. If you've done closed me out and I'm just now like a sound in the back, I love you. And hey, I hope my voice just chimes right on in there with you. But let's end today, our Friday, our little ice break, y'all. If anybody feels like Elsa, if Elsa took her gloves off or something, like she needs to put them back on, I don't know. But I really do want y'all to be ready for the ice if it were to come and to stay warm and to stay safe. But let's end today with a breath prayer together. We do an inhale in our nose for 4 and we exhale through our mouth for 6 and we do the 6 at the end that count because it activates our parasympathetic nervous system. It reminds us that we're safe and that we can be calm and lowers our heart rates and our blood pressure and helps with anxiety. And that's why I always say the 4 and the 6. So on your 4 count, on your inhale, I want you to say, God, you are near. And on your exhale, I am safe with you. So one more. Inhale for 4. God, you are near. Exhale for 6. I am safe with you. Okay. Drink your water, unclench your jaw, and I just need y'all to know that I love you. Okay. But before I say bye, before you go, if this episode felt like you were sitting across the table with me or a friend that you like even better than me, and Gentle January is landing with you, if this space has felt softer or steadier, rating the show is one of the simplest ways to keep it going, y'all. It's the cheapest way to keep getting it out there. It's the easiest way to show us love. It's free. It don't cost you anything except 5 seconds of your time, and I know your time is so important, and I'm so thankful that you're here with me, but it is the only way to keep this show going where it needs to go. And 5 stars tells the algorithm, because why, we all do have algorithms, but if you rate the show giving it 5 stars, well, Wilder wants to tell y'all about it too, but it matters. This matters because the reviews tell real women you're safe here, and it helps us push out further so they can join in with us too. And I know it sounds kind of silly, but I don't make the rules, the crazy algorithms do, and that's just what we have to do. And if you feel like it, leave a comment and tell me what you were doing while you listened. If it was laundry, or if you were in the carpool line, or if you really were doing some mascara at the sink. I love knowing where this show meets you and what you're doing when we're chatting. And I just want you to know I am so thankful for you for helping build this out quietly together. We're doing the thing. Tell your friends. And until we meet back here next time, I love y'all. Mean it. Bye.